The best kind of road is one that you can see really far ahead where you're driving, know that no one is coming the other direction, and the cherry on top is when you just look around and you have a beautiful 360-degree view of the beauty of Oregon's nature around you. The reason for doing this at all is because I love exploring where I live. Having a car that gets me there with a little bit extra fun is just a bonus. The Safari M3 is a normal M3 that's lifted with a couple accessories bolted on that's totally reversible. So anyone could do it in their garage if they really wanted to. It's not a rock crawler. It's not a high-speed Baja dune buggy. It's still an M3 underneath with some more ground clearance. But it turns out, given a smooth enough gravel road or a smooth enough dirt road, that you can have a lot of fun on it. My first BMW was an 87 E30 325e. It was $1,200. It had probably 250,000 miles on it. The odometer was broken, as it is in every E30. And when I graduated high school, it was time to drive to Portland, Oregon. And my friend Ryan and I drove through Colorado. We were supposed to just get to Portland in 3 days, take the interstates, yet I was compelled to leave the beaten path and just see what was around this other corner. Little did I know that that would lay the groundwork for this desire to explore just a little bit farther away than most people are probably exploring when they're on road trips or driving around the country. One of my previous M3s was an E46 convertible that I just drove everywhere. I would wake up early on a Saturday and just start driving and see how far I could get, maybe stay the night somewhere far out and return the next day. But I was always trying to go somewhere new and experience a new road because I just couldn't get enough of driving this car. Obviously, the E46 makes a wonderful daily driver, a wonderful canyon carver. People build race cars out of them. It's known for that. But it left me wondering, why not push it a little bit further? And why hasn't someone made a rally E46 when a rally BMW wasn't so far in the past before that generation? When I first had this idea for an off-road 3 Series, I thought it had to be all-wheel drive because most off-roaders were all-wheel drive or 4x4s, off-roaders. They're like synonymous with each other. So for those who don't know, the M3 Buaru is a 2001 325 XI wagon that has an S54 engine swap from the M3 of the same era. And I saw this car for sale in Colorado, and something struck me, and I just immediately saw the potential that it could have as this rally wagon. So after buying it and raising it a little bit and thinking that I was done doing the work on it that I would need to take it on these adventures, there were more issues because an all-wheel drive M3 swap is a little bit more involved and complex than I understood at the time. And I'm still working out the details of that even 6 years later after buying it. I still see the potential in it and the promise of it, and I've had enough experiences with it where I know it's possible, and it is really incredible when it is working, but it's had some setbacks. Part of what was so frustrating about this car was that because it was highly specialized and a bit of a Franken swap, I was relying on a local shop to do most of the work, and it was taking a really long time. At one point, I didn't have the car for 2 whole years, but the more that I actually drove the M3 Buaru on gravel roads, I realized that the thing that was limiting me from getting places wasn't necessarily the drivetrain, but just the ground clearance. And so it was actually really possible to have so many of the same experiences and access so many of the same places in a rear-wheel drive car. I think the fact that the M3 Buaru has been so complicated to run created space for me to fill with another car that I knew would work. Even while we were on our M3 Buaru trip, I hypothesized that an SMG M3 would actually make a really good off-road M3. So I was always keeping an eye out for the right car that might be a good candidate for modifying in this way. Fast forward 2 years, and I see this M3 show up on Bring a Trailer. Its presentation left a lot to be desired, but there are some details that I noticed that I don't think were noticed by a lot of other potential buyers that made it stand out to me. It's a slick top, so it didn't have a sunroof, which is pretty unusual for an E46 M3. It also had an Imola red interior, so the steel gray paint with the Imola red combination is one that I've always really loved. And it had some modifications that would probably make it difficult to register in California, where a lot of Bring a Trailer buyers are. On the final day of bidding, I placed my final bid of $16,250, and I shut my computer off and I walked out the door to keep myself from bidding anymore. And that notification of being outbid never came. So here I was. This car had been well used in the previous owner's life. I think he took good care of it for what it's worth, but it was also a track car, and it was used the way an M3 should be used. And I was ready to use it in a different way and just wanted to change some of the things about it and how it was built. Yeah, it's not like I took a factory fresh EAG spec M3 and started bastardizing it and lifting it and hacking into it. Regardless of driving aggressively or spiritedly, I think a lot of people are afraid of leaving their comfort zone with their car unless someone else has done it before. And for me, there just wasn't enough resistance to keep me from trying this experiment of making a Safari M3. It seemed like the formula that I came up with would work. I kept looking for reasons why it wouldn't work, and I couldn't find a reason. And so I moved forward with it, and as a result, it's the first lifted E46 M3. I think. I still haven't seen another one. You might be wondering, how do you lift an E46? Well, so between the all-terrain tires and the lift and the suspension, it's about a 4-inch lift. SMG is an F1-derived sequential manual gearbox that uses the same transmission as the manual M3, but is shifted electro-hydraulically through an actuator that's triggered by either the paddles or the gear selector in the car. So I have over 100,000 miles of seat time in a manual M3, and I love a manual M3. But I also was really interested in learning more about the SMG system, and it had been so panned and derided by seemingly everyone, yet there are also people who really enjoyed it, and in the off-road setting that I was imagining, it seemed like it could really work. When you're driving off-road and you're worrying about traction levels and slip angles, working a clutch and a gear lever only adds to the complexity of that experience. This is also why I really wanted to prove the SMG's worth in this application. It is so easy to be in the right gear when you're driving spiritedly on a loose surface, and even downshift into first if you're going into a really tight corner. But that's where the benefits of the transmission really end. I think it disconnects you from the engine. Part of the joy of driving an S54 is how directly connected you feel to it when it's revving freely. And that's something you can't experience with an SMG car. The bottom line is the E46 chassis is so balanced that sliding a rear-wheel drive E46 just feels like operating an extension of your body. It's intuitive. You're in harmony with the car when you're going around a corner.
I sometimes dream about you all the time. And in my dreams, you make me feel alright. I know it won't last long. It's only dreams, but I take one day at a time. Oh yeah, our hearts are no longer synchronized.
I think the Safari M3 fulfills the vision that I imagined originally for the M3 Buaru. But I think the M3 Buaru is also still capable of that. And that's why I will continue to fix it and work on it and get it to the point where I want it to be. I also see them as two distinct concepts. The M3 Buaru is the family wagon converted into an M3 rally car, whereas the Safari M3, it's overtly the sports car converted into the off-roader or the rally car. So philosophically, to me, they're very distinct, even if they arrive at a similar conclusion and end up on the same road, being used in a really similar way. The path to get there is different. I think they can coexist. I also think it's really absurd that I have two off-road focused BMWs at all, much less E46 M3s. But at least for now, while the M3 Buaru is still going through some things, needing more work done, it's really refreshing and uplifting to be able to hop into another S54 powered E46 and go drive it hard and drive it in the way that I thought I would be driving the M3 Buaru. I've lived in Oregon for 20 years now, and there are hundreds of thousands of miles of forest roads in Oregon alone. And the thought of being able to drive up a mountain and see someplace new and be in the middle of nowhere where no one else is so compelling to me, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. But the idea of being able to do that in my favorite car, an E46 M3, just puts me over the edge. And I absolutely love that. And I just had to build this car that allowed me to do that. And it turns out it can.